You are listening to the 2 and Out CFL podcast, a proud member of the Canadian Football Podcast Network.
Grab some poutine and a double-double. It's time for the 2 and Out CFL podcast.
He's got it! Oh, baby!
Every week, Travis Currah.
That's Grey Cup me, which is a different person.
And Brazilian Ty.
Punters are people too.
Talk fantasy football, bring you the latest in CFL news, and sprinkle in a little bit of nonsense.
Oh, nearly intercepted, it is! And it's over!
Ready, set, hunt!
And we are part of the Alberta Podcast Network, locally grown, community supported. It's Travis Currah. It is Brazilian Ty. Ty, you had an epiphany this week that you wanted to talk about on the show. I don't know. Were you forced?
I don't know if it was an epiphany.
Were you forced into using the bar of soap instead of the body wash, or how did this come about?
Well, when I came back to camp at, I guess, beginning of November or middle of November, after my days off, got to the hotel in Prince George, didn't want to unpack everything for one night, so I just used the bar of soap they had there, and it smelled phenomenal. And then I was listening to KFC radio last week.
KFC radio?
Yeah, it's not what you think it is. And they were talking about it for some reason because one of the guys had gone to the drugstore at the next door to the Barstool headquarters or whatever, and had bought a 5-pack of soap, and they were making the chick that produces it or whatever. She was making fun of him for not using body wash, using bar of soap like an old man, pretty much. And so they looked it up, and it's it actually gets you cleaner, because you exfoliate and stuff. You still exfoliate with a loofah or whatever. They said, yeah, I'll try it out. And it's way better.
It is.
It feels way better.
I'm a hairy guy, so sometimes it's a struggle to get it off the bar, but...
Yeah, and nobody's going to want to share yours.
But that's a good thing too.
Yeah. And then you do the trick where when you've only got that little piece left, you just mold it onto the fresh bar. Yeah, it's been awesome.
This is the point of the off season where you can tweet us at 2 and Out CFL, and if you're still on Elon's Twitter, and
Kanye lasted about 10 days.
We need to get into that here, but when you make the host of InfoWars squirm, I don't know.
Don't get me wrong. I watch InfoWars sometimes just because it's so hilarious. Right? Because Alex Jones can be an absolute maniac. Turning the frogs gay. They're not turning the frogs gay, but they are all the plastics and everything is screwing with some stuff. But he throws so much stuff at the wall that when something actually sticks, everybody just thinks he's nuts.
Yeah, yeah.
But a blind squirrel. And then he has Kanye in there, and it's oh boy. he's the American version. It's wild.
Oh, I feel like the algorithm is going to find this audio and somehow expose us to a whole new audience.
You don't want to know what's on my Instagram algorithm right now. I've been down a rabbit hole the last 2 nights.
This episode of 2 and Out brought to you by Alberta Blue Cross. Life as a business owner can be hectic, to say the least, and Alberta Blue Cross understands that. They offer flexible health, dental, life, and disability coverage for your employees, and even better, you can let your staff enroll and manage their coverage at any time and on any device. So that makes life easier for them and for you. You've got this when it comes to group coverage for your small business, and Alberta Blue Cross has got your back. To learn more and explore your options, head to ab.bluecross.ca. All right, it's been a couple of weeks now, but hey, congrats to the Laval Rouge et Or for taking home the Vanier Cup. Glenn Constantine's 10th Vanier Cup, the 11th in the program's history. But hey, I know what Ty's going to say. When you're paying your players, you get the best.
I wasn't only going to say that. I was going to say you have to be careful what you wish for. I felt like a Yankee fan saying we want Houston.
Oh.
I don't want to play Western at home for a Vanier Cup. And we get basically a pro team.
Right. So, yeah, that's tough. We got to say, hey, Kevin,
they didn't get embarrassed, though. So.
No, it was a good game, and the Huskies were in it. They lost 30-24. Kevin Mattal, that receiver for Laval who won the Heck Crichton, I feel like if he was a Husky, then game over. It seemed like receiving was a little bit of an adventure for Mason Nias and company at times, but he threw for 344 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. It was his 5th year of U Sports, and it kind of seemed like a situation where the pandemic maybe helped him. Had that year off, comes
kind of
in
like a free redshirt season.
Yeah, comes in 2021, all guns a-blazing, had a great year this year. Heck, Crichton finalist with Kevin Mattal, the receiver for Laval, comes up short, 2 straight Vanier Cup losses. But the reason I mentioned Mason Nias is because he's now on Saskatchewan's neg list because he went undrafted last year.
Has he bought a house in Regina yet?
I don't know. For kids coming out of university, I don't think they can afford mortgages. It doesn't matter where it is.
Yeah, but I mean, if he hasn't bought a house, then he's not going to the practice.
Well, I've heard Tom Brady, Bo Mitchell, and Mason Nias all now have property in Regina. So
that checks out.
Take that for what you will. But
that's a ballsy statement.
Well done. Well done. Him being on the neg list is like very, I guess, positive news out of Saskatchewan, and that's not happening much with the Riders these days.
It's almost O'Day almost looks like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I get that. Now, who knows what his CFL prospects are, but I do hope that the Riders, bring him into training camp, and not just bring him into training camp to
not
be
just a token invite. Give him reps, let him show what he can do, and take an actual look. What does it hurt?
Yeah, exactly.
Because at this point, I don't think you can bring Fajardo back. This is an Edmonton Oilers situation where the fans have turned on him. The media has started to turn. I just don't know if there's any saving it. The Oilers fans ran Jeff Petrie out of town. The Rider fans are going to run Cody Fajardo out of town.
Well, and the way the coaches, I think, handled Fajardo at the end of the year, I think they kind of brought it on themselves. The fact that Dickinson has a job
still is embarrassing.
Well, this is I don't know. I don't see many positive things happening with Saskatchewan here. So I think if you bring Nias, now I don't know if he'll be ready to be starting.
The second coming of Nathan Rourke.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, although Rourke did have the one season in the CFL under Riley and got all the practice reps, so that was big, I think, for 2022.
Bring in Bo, and he can sit on the bench behind Bo.
Hey, there you go. But the likeliness of Bo going to Saskatchewan, I think, is dropping by the day. And yes, might be.
I don't know if it can get lower than it is right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's the deal. The Riders are looking for an offensive coordinator since Jason Moss has been fired on November 1st. And it really doesn't look like, well, I mean, they're going to get the internal hire. That's what it looks like. The cheaper way to go, but it's not. It's not. Yeah, the cheaper way to go, but I don't think that's the reason. Well, I think he might be the only choice.
Yeah.
Jarius Jackson's the quarterback coach in Edmonton. He turned down an invitation to talk to the Riders. Mark Mueller, been the quarterback coach in Calgary for the past 3 years. He announces that he's staying in Calgary. And look, Kahari Jones was an option. We'll get to where he is going to be in 2023, but it looks like the Riders are currently down to their running back coach, Kelly Jeffrey, and current Argos receivers coach or pass game coordinator, Pete Costanza. And a shout out to Coach Costanza eating homemade spaghetti out of the Grey Cup. Now, I don't know if the Grey Cup is like Tupperware where you get the, the red spaghetti stains in the Grey Cup.
Yep.
Probably, I think they'll be polishing that up as best as they can.
Considering his last name is probably not eating it in bed.
Well, what would you eat out of the Grey Cup?
Oh, Golden Grams probably. I don't eat a lot of soup or like foods that come in a bowl. So
that's true.
Ice cream, I guess.
Big old thing of mashed potatoes in there. Ice cream would be great. You can fit a lot of ice cream in there.
I'd be sick for days. Mashed potatoes would be sick, though.
That would be good. But hey, the pasta, I'm a big fan of that too. It just looks like Saskatchewan's going to be down to their current running back coach. And hey, I'll be honest, I don't know much about Kelly Jeffrey. I do know that the running backs were a bright spot for the Riders last year. So
yeah, that has to be a step or like a positive, like in your pros and cons list. But like all these guys turning down just the opportunity to talk shows you what kind of state this franchise is in.
Well,
guys, they don't want to come here because they don't know what's going to happen in free agency with the offensive line, the quarterback situation. They have a lame duck head coach. They don't know what's going to happen, with the front office because O'Day, I mean, how long is he going to be around if this doesn't turn around? Like you come into the situation, all of a sudden you get a new GM coming in next year and you're looking again because he wants his own guys.
Yeah, as an OC, I mean, what you'd only probably get a 1-year deal to match the head coach and the GM. So who's going to go for that? And that's where the Rough Riders are stuck right now.
The fact that Edmonton coaches are turning that down.
Hey, say what you will about Jones, but
that's what I mean. Like that shows you, like 2 years ago, it was like this. The Riders were so much, but they seem so much further ahead. And Jones in a season and a bit has just turned it around.
Just Jones guys are Jones guys. That's just the way it goes. So
he builds the same football team every time. It's a blueprint and it works.
So that's what I mean as far as the quarterback in Saskatchewan goes. Mm-hmm. Nias probably gets the minimum. Hail Mary, caution to the wind, cheap quarterback, spend everywhere else, and and then when you have to, well.
And then when you have to, hopefully you win a Grey Cup. When you have to pay him, you make some hard decisions.
Yeah,
but
because
they're going to have money to spend with Duke gone, and I don't know what to do with Shat. Like, there's a lot of questions.
It might be tough to attract players at this point too. Mm-hmm. We'll see, but that's it. Bo's not going to. I can't see Bo. He's at a point in his career.
Why would he?
Yeah.
Why would he want to wait 3 years to win again?
Yeah.
When he can go somewhere and let's Bill he just has to slide in and become the number one quarterback.
Yeah.
And he's got all the pieces there.
There might be some lean years coming up for Rider Nation, and it might be
dude, 4 Grey Cups in 110 plus years. Like they've all been pretty lean.
Here's the thing: the past 15 years has kind of been the glory days since
there
Ronnie.
Was a 5-win season, and we're calling this the glory days.
There was also 4 Grey Cup appearances in 15 years.
Yeah,
and 2 wins,
2 back-to-back.
As far as Rider history goes,
yeah, this is the equivalent of Edmonton winning 5 in a row if you're the Riders.
Exactly. It's been a decent stretch of overall all right, above average football.
But we've still had stuff to bitch about after every game, and it's been great. Creating content.
So now I just kind of wonder if we're in for some Ottawa/Edmonton seasons in Saskatchewan. Because it does look like things are trending in the right direction in both of those markets. Mm-hmm. Interesting to see. I don't know. Look, I'm riding the Riders off of being a team that's going to miss the playoffs in 2023 again. Who's going to join them on the outside looking in next year? As for Ottawa, they bring in Bob Dyce, who has been in the CFL for a long, long time. Started as a receivers coach with Winnipeg in 2003. But what's striking me about this hire, and I know he's the internal guy, but the undisputed, I think, choice of the players in Ottawa, the amount of respect he has there, and actually around the league, just seems like guys love playing for him. And can be, I think, an advantage for a special teams guy because you're coaching everybody on the team. It worked out for Mike O'Shea. It's been off and on for Craig Dickinson.
I mean, the first year, like, pretty much endeared himself to not only the team, but the fans.
Yeah.
Like, especially those mic'd up games,
Yeah.
The Outlaws thing that he like what he called the special teams units and stuff like that. Everybody thought it was great. It seemed like the players had bought in, everybody loved him, and it all kind of went south. But then you have a guy like Bob Dyce who you've never heard a bad word about.
No.
Whether it's from players, other teams, front office, nothing. So, for him to this was a second interim stint, I believe.
Yeah, he did one with Saskatchewan.
Or was it third? Or yeah, it might only be a second, but now he finally gets that chance where he comes into the year as a head coach. He shows that he can do it. Players kind of bought in there in Ottawa when he got the interim tag. Now he gets to build his staff, build his team, and go forward. And it's nice to see him finally get a chance.
And I think Dyce, Ottawa brought in some of the players, like more of the talent with free agency this year. And now I think they're going to have a coaching staff where more players are going to want to go to Ottawa. Yeah. Bob Dyce is the head coach, Kahari Jones is the offensive coordinator, and it looks like Baron Miles to be the DC. He did coach alongside Kahari in Montreal recently as well. So those guys reuniting, and look, I think Ottawa's got a great staff. We'll see what their quarterback situation is going to be going into the year. Arbuckle, is Masoli going to be healthy? Is he going to focus on playing in 2023? I think there's a lot of positive things to look forward to in Ottawa.
And they're, like you said, coaching staff is set now. These are guys that have done it. Kahari was a head coach. So, there's a support system there for Bob Dyce as well, kind of bounce stuff off. If Masoli's healthy and the guys they already have there and the guys they can bring in free agency with the talent that's out there that's available and the talent they already have, there's no reason they can't make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think
it's not like Garrett Marino's coming back anytime soon. That should be imagine. Imagine that signing in Ottawa.
Cat.
No, I was going to say, what if Ottawa signs him?
Wow,
just to keep him off the field.
Will McLeod Bethel Thompson play in 2023? It sounds crazy. Was the leader in Toronto last year finally? played
led
3/4 of the Grey
yards.
Cup. Yeah. But he just had surgery on his throwing hand thumb. He does hope to start throwing again in January. Now we've got new leagues opening up in the States. Is he going to choose to play closer to home? Or is he going to return to the CFL, and will it be with the Argos? That's a big question this offseason.
Well, it's all going to come down, if he starts throwing in January and he's 100% by the time, or maybe not 100%, but if he knows that he's going to be able to play come, start of February before free agency rolls around and he can re-sign that deal, then I think he goes back. Now, if it comes to, February 7th, 8th, 9th, and he's still unsure, Toronto's got to go and look. Is Chad Kelly the guy? Are they going to wait and see what happens with Bo? Are they going to go and trade for somebody? I think it's too early to tell you. You have to wait until he starts throwing and see how this recovery progresses. Because if it doesn't, and, he decides that he can't do it or doesn't want to, you got to hope that it's not, February 13th when he finally comes to that realization.
Toronto's going to be a team to watch too.
And they could sign him and cut him anyway. That's been
Toronto's
by them to him.
They're going to have an interesting offseason here as well, because a lot of leaders that are going to be deciding on their football future, Brandon Banks, Andrew Harris, and maybe they weren't the biggest contributors all year long, but they were pretty valuable to the locker room there.
Yeah.
And
glue guys.
That'll be interesting to see what happens with some of those veteran guys in Toronto. Now, we move to Winnipeg here, where, continuity has been the name of the game in Manitoba, and it continues. Mike O'Shea. And this offseason, let's make sure we get resign and re-sign right, because they're completely different things. I saw that Mike O'Shea has resigned in Winnipeg several times.
Yeah.
But he re-signs for 3 years. It's not another one of those one-year deals. So that, I think, is big for the Bombers. Buck Pierce declined to even talk to Ottawa, so he's going to stick with Winnipeg. And they've already
loves his situation right now.
I think
And
so.
I don't know why you wouldn't.
Yeah, I know. He's already re-signed Adam Bighill and Willie Jefferson as well. And I think the Bombers are going to...
Were those not 2-year deals as well?
I don't think they were singles. Yeah. And I think that I see people questioning Winnipeg going into 2023, saying that, hey, these guys are starting to get old. They're starting to lose a step. And I don't see them.
Clearly they slowed way down this year.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I see them still having a home playoff game at IG Field in 2023.
After a bye week.
Yeah. It's they're going to be a tough team to beat and to compete with. And hey, congratulations to Adam Bighill, who just got awarded with one of the Queen Elizabeth II Platinum Jubilee medals for dedication to his community, to Manitoba, and to Canada. It's just a guy that you want on your team, a guy that you want on your community, and man, the Bombers are lucky to have a player like Adam Bighill. Mm-hmm. The Edmonton Elks have made some releases here, and I know people are laughing at these players, but especially Duron Carter. But look, these guys get an early start on free agency. So Tristan Deku, Duron Carter, hey, Tony Washington released as well. It seemed like it was kind of an ugly end to that relationship in Edmonton. I know he wanted to repeat what was going on in 2015. Didn't seem to go the way he wanted to. And some other players released as well. Have we seen the last of Duron Carter in the CFL, Ty?
I don't think another coach or coaching staff or GM is going to take a shot at him playing corner.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if he is still, like, if he wants to play receiver, what's he going to demand cost-wise?
It's just very interesting that if this was just a one-year experiment, if that's what it was, why, like, they changed everything else with the roster last year. Why did they let that go the whole year long? It was just a weird. It's Chris Jones, I guess.
It's Chris Jones, baby.
This episode of Two and Out brought to you by Connect First Credit Union.
Do you ever feel like just a number? A digit? A denominator? A decimal? Another cog in the big bank machine? Waiting on hold? Online? Never on time? And always on your dime? Like your worth is only calculated by your net worth. In a world full of numbers, it's nice to know there's a place where you're not one. Connect First Credit Union. Bank on a brighter future.
All right, we'll be back in another couple of weeks with a new episode of 2 and Out. We still have a lot of questions that need to be addressed this offseason. Who knows if we'll know in the next couple of weeks where Bo Mitchell is going to be playing. I'm starting to think it's down to Hamilton and Toronto. What about you?
So it's down to one team.
I forgot. Forgive me.
Can't believe you did that. No, I think it all depends. Like, I think Hamilton is obviously trying to get a deal done right now. If they've talked to him, they have the right to. I'm sure they've had those discussions, and whether or not he wants to go to free agency, we don't know. But he might also want to wait and see what happens with McLeod Bethel-Thompson, see what happens with situations.
Well, the Argos might make that decision for MBT.
Right? If they decide not to bring him back, well, then if you're Bo, do you not go to free agency and let Hamilton and Toronto get in a bidding war for you?
Well, and would that be another big heel turn for Bo Mitchell, who instantly becomes the villain in Hamilton, which I would love. He didn't even do anything.
So it'd be the best.
And Toronto's already Calgary East. Ryan Dinwiddie and hey, Costanza is there, and those receivers that spent time in Calgary. He's familiar with a lot of that roster.
Yeah, like it seems like a pretty easy fit. Like, it just makes sense. But at the same time, you look at Hamilton, where they have White and
Tim White would be a great guy to throw to. Like, we'll see.
Right?
Braylon Addison will be healthy. I don't know.
if he's healthy, like there's weapons in Hamilton as well. But yeah, it would be Bo Levi taking off the Sting mask to reveal Sting.
Oh, it would be absolutely great. Trevor Harris is a pending free agent. Free agency opens up February 14th. Is he still going to be the guy in Montreal?
Bo always plays well in Montreal.
I wonder why he doesn't.
Yeah, I know why I wouldn't. I mean, what other options do they have other than, like, do you want? I mean, the free agency pool quarterback wise isn't that deep.
Well, where does Cody Fajardo go? Is he staying in the CFL?
That's the other question. Like, is he going to be the guy that bounces around like Jason Moss did?
Right.
Maybe not bounce around, but he just becomes that kind of backup quarterback that can come in when you need him to. He is competent enough, but he just can't be a starter. Like Dane Evans, I don't know what's going to happen with Dane Evans. Like, if you're Hamilton, can you trust after what he said this year? How do you bring him back into that locker room as your starting quarterback?
Yeah. And Dane Evans, and I was talking to some people, Ticats fans at Grey Cup, and if he can't handle the pressure in Hamilton, it's not going to work in a place like Regina either.
It won't work anywhere west of Winnipeg.
So we'll see what happens with Dane. We'll see what happens with Cody. It kind of seems like the Rough Rider brass has been trying to walk back some of the stuff they said about Cody because he might be their best option. They don't have any other
options. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, maybe they will have to sign him, but maybe Cody's got all the bargaining power.
Is he going to take a pay cut? Like, do they have the negotiation power? Like, we can't pay you what you think you're worth because you didn't do anything.
You got
to take a pay cut. You got to take a pay cut so we can put an offensive line in front of you.
Yeah. Well,
and it's our fault for paying Duke all that money.
Duke Williams is worth like 2 O linemen, so
maybe 3.
Who coaches in Montreal?
Yeah.
It's been really quiet on that. It's really quiet on the Alouette coaching positions.
So is no news good news? Because nothing's leaking? Or is it Machocha's sitting in a dark room just being like, God damn it. Back out there?
A lot of people are saying, hey, he's just going to be the guy, but we'll see what happens in 2023. They've already re-signed Almondo Sewell for 2 years, 35 years old, and man, he's still one of the premier defensive tackles.
Oh, we saw that with CFL. John Bowman playing defensive end as well. Like,
yeah,
Charlton Hughes is still contributing. Like, I mean, it's not the days where 35 was the end of your career anymore. Like, even just training and the way you guys take care of their bodies now is just added longevity to so many careers.
I want to see where Geno Lewis is going to end up. Maybe he does stay in Montreal, but hey, we saw Kenny Lawler is a pending free agent too. We saw the money that went to Kenny Lawler and went to Duke Williams last offseason.
I don't think that's happening again.
I don't think so either. But if anybody's a $250,000 receiver, Geno Lewis is that guy.
Yeah, he heads and shoulders above. Like, I mean, maybe not numbers wise, just because you had guys like Dalton Schoen do what they did. And the receivers in BC, I mean, that offense was just built around Nathan Rourke and had all the weapons. But just his skill set and how we can go up in high point footballs and win battles and get open. He's just so much better than everybody else, it seems.
And we've got the Nathan Rourke watch. He's traveling around the NFL doing his workouts, most recently for the Las Vegas Raiders. I think
they need a quarterback.
A couple days ago, he had the workout for the Raiders. So we'll see what happens there. We'll see if he gets what he thinks he's worth as far as a signing bonus or opportunity going into 2023.
Let's say Rourke gets a deal. What does BC do now?
Hey, bring back Trevor Harris and let VA and Trevor Harris battle it out. VA's like, what do I gotta do?
Every time I think I get out of here, they drag me back in.
Yeah, so here's what happens. Like Antonio Pipkin signs in Saskatchewan. Trevor Harris goes to BC. VA loses his job to Trevor Harris. Then VA goes to Saskatchewan. And
yeah.
Pipkin's like, what do I gotta do?
Love it. Speaking of injuries and having to wait to see, my golf season might be ruined.
It's not even Christmas.
I know. Well, Christmas is a whole nother story. My truck is going to be a brick. I ain't going anywhere. But I'm going to tell my mom I'm going to Statler. I'm going to tell my cousin I'm staying home and I can just gamble all day. Christmas Day in the dark. But so we figured out this with my gallbladder. I don't know if we talked about this last time, but like there was like multiple gallstones at like around half an inch. So like no wonder the pain was so bad.
So certain foods like trigger, are they called attacks?
Yeah. Fatty foods.
Okay.
So everything I eat, especially in camp. Talking to my doctor, he got me. Yeah. Oh no, gross. I don't like marshmallows. I don't like those.
For those people listening, peanut butter, butterscotch, marshmallow squares. No. Oh, so good.
Not for me. But so I got the surgery consult booked. Consult thing booked. Appointment like to talk to the surgeon or whatever. When I was talking to my doctor, he was like, yeah, it should be about 3 months after your consult that you'll get the surgery. So when's January 10th. So February, March, April. Opening day is usually like the middle of April. So I'm probably going to miss
the recovery period?
Well, no. Be 3 months after the consult.
I know, but what's the recovery?
Depends on how much pain I'm in. Dude, you know me. I'll be on short-term disability like that.
I was going to say, man, Ty will pop some, I don't know. You know the painkillers better than me. And you'll be splitting stitches up right on the course.
Well, it should be laparoscopic unless I'm too fat and they got to actually open me up. But if they nick something coming out, it could be in a lot of pain.
But it's abdominal, right? I'm not good in my
anatomy. It's like, right.
Yeah, that's perfect for golf.
Oh, yeah. Right. It's not my core or anything. So if I got this will be the first opening day I've missed other than COVID in like 10 years.
Ooh.
And I tried to golf opening day during COVID, but I wasn't allowed. So.
I remember that whole situation. Yeah. We're literally outside, like by ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, we've learned so much in almost 3 years.
Have we, though?
I don't know. I think since the pandemic started, if we put 2020, 2021, and 2022, and I had to rank them worst to best, I'm going
2022 is by far the worst.
No. Yeah, exactly. 2020 was the best.
Yeah. I went from the mattress in my living room to the mattress in my bedroom, and then at like 10 a.m. I'd get up and go back to the mattress in the living room and just watch TV all day.
I miss those times. I don't miss the beginning of it, but once you got used to it, it's like, this is great.
Yeah, and then they're calling me to go back to work, and it's like, I've still got enough money to take another month off.
Hey, comment on YouTube, ring the bell on there. And you can rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcatcher. We'll be back in another couple of weeks with another off-season episode of Two
Probably
and Out.
Offside, too, I'm guessing.
Thanks for listening. Find more great shows like this at CF Pod Network on Twitter.